I've been weighing in on the culture, kind of the big mass move of liberalism versus conservatism. And liberalism is on the run. Leftism, wokeism, whatever you want to call it. And it's best, the evidence today is going to come from the LA Times. Welcome to the Doug TenNapel channel. You're in exile, but man, exile is getting a whole lot easier. A whole lot funner these days.
Billionaire owner Patrick Soon-Shiong prepares to replace some members of the editorial board. He says it's time for all voices to be heard.
And this is major news. Just that a leftist rag like the LA Times announces that all voices should be heard. It's totally controversial. The left is trying out something new. Tolerance.
All this following the paper's controversial decision to cancel its planned endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris.
That was really what made the big cave-in, was LA Times decided not to endorse Kamala Harris. I don't know if it was because she was just a boob and an idiot, or if it was more that they wanted to try and hold on to maybe gain some new subscribers from the right. This is going to be a tectonic shift, and I think it blows bigger than just in the press and in media. I think it's a bigger sign about all of culture that the left did not win this last election. It got majorly spanked, and they're running away, cowering. And of course, we don't let them up. Don't take your foot off their neck. Keep them running. Because they will wake back up and stab you right in the back.
Well, Sandra, that on a column that readers called sexist and racist for blaming white women for electing Trump.
And that's the normal way that it goes. You know, white women elected Trump, and they called all of their, the Latino voters and black voters racist and sexist for not voting for Kamala Harris, as if you have an obligation to vote for an idiot just because she's a black woman.
We need to have all voices, the right, the left, and the moderate, the center. It's going to be risky and difficult.
And this is a huge cell phone. Just that having the right and left have equal time and some moderates in there is risky and difficult. This guy is terrified. This is what leftists and Democrats do. They've made people terrified to have any opinion that doesn't agree with them is some kind of, you know, it's like they're going on some National Geographic, like African, you know, mission, some Congo safari. We are going deep in uncharted territory here. We've never done this before at the LA Times. Heard, you know, both sides.
I'm going to take a lot of heat, which I already am.
Yep.
But, you know, I come from the position that really it's important for all voices to be heard.
Well, if you came from that position that all voices should be heard, you've been doing a lousy job of it at the LA Times. So this is kind of, he just now found the free speech Jesus. Okay, so we'll give him that. There's nothing wrong with a mea culpa and going, I'm sorry, I did it wrong. I'm going to change things. So I'm rooting for the LA Times. I hope he does this correctly.
So this comes after years of the Times mudslinging and disparaging coverage of Donald Trump. A Trump rally doubles down on hatred, said one headline. And sure, Harris isn't ideal, but Trump is a disaster, or disgrace rather, said another. Then on the opinion page, the Times called Trump a vindictive, authoritarian, consummate racist, and malignant narcissist.
And I think all that is normal, by the way. I think it's great to have leftists going super crazy, bury the needle, as opinionated as you want to be. I just want the same voice on the right. I want the right to be able to go back and say, Kamala Harris is a wrong choice, she's an idiot, and Trump is great. Okay, so I'm not trying to stop the left from speaking. I like their free speech. I want to say welcome to the party of free speech. But we all know it's them, they have the problem. They only want their own voice heard, and they don't want to hear from moderates or from people on the right, and they don't want to give you the same amount of voluptuous insult or whatever. And that's part of the fun that we have on this channel, is I just speak about the left the way that they speak about the right. Ad hominem attacks, I call them stupid, I call them funny, I call them totalitarian, whatever. And they freak out because leftists are not used to hearing that. See, I'm a right winger. I'm a Christian. I'm a bit of a redneck. And so I've always been around country folk and right wingers, and I've been around the art department and artists and animators. So I've always heard the left. So, but the the people on the right, we're used to hearing leftist voices. It's on all of TV. It's in all of our movies. So their political position, we always hear. It's the left that is just, they come unglued. Like The View, their heads explode if something outside of their little perfect box comes in and offers another point of view. That's how you make them lose it.
So when publisher Soon Chiang recommended a pro and con comparison of Harris and Trump, 3 editors resigned in protest.
And that, I just have to laugh. This poor guy, all he suggested was both sides show up and 3 editors leave. You don't want those 3 editors, first of all. Let the totalitarians go. Okay, the ones that are that inflexible, their precious little world is going to implode if a disagreeing point of view comes in. I mean, even Christians, like we're used to like, hey, this is what I believe about God and the scriptures. And then other people come back to you and they go, I don't believe that. This is what I believe. You know what I mean? We're used to having different opinions, but leftists, like they quit their job. They're so threatened by open minds and open discussion, by simple debate. That's what made America great.
In her resignation letter, your editor said, quote, "We have spent 8 years railing against Trump." Do you think that hurts the public trust?
So the fact that we wrote over the last 4 years, I don't know whether that was news or that was opinion.
Yeah.
And mostly that was opinion, but conflated as if it's news.
It needs to be labeled.
Exactly. Yep. And I'm going to do that.
Well, I don't even care if it's labeled. I think all news is opinion now. Thinks that they're going to be able to report facts. I just don't trust liberals that they're going to report correct facts on both sides. You're always going to get a liberal slant. And if you hire a right winger like me, you would always get a right wing slant. You know what I mean? It'd be no different than if I was asked to report on an archaeological dig about, where they found, Noah's Ark or something. I would give my opinion would slant the news. That's all. The idea, I don't have a lot of hope that this guy's going to succeed. Not because of the right. We'll give lots of our opinion. It's because of the left are so intolerant. I don't have a lot of hope that this guy's going to succeed. Not because of the right. We'll give lots of our opinion. It's because of the left are so intolerant.
One editor who resigned said, "We're a liberal paper. Our readers are mostly Harris supporters. In fact, Trump won more California counties than Harris, including 4 in Metro LA."
And this is something I've said for a lot, that the largest amount of conservatives are in California. They're just a minority compared to the number of liberals. But if LA Times wants to succeed as a business, wouldn't it make sense that they would get some conservative subscribers? You have one of the largest potential markets. You can only grow, in other words, if you open it up to conservatives. And it's kind of like MSNBC could get sold. If MSNBC was purchased by someone who put on hard left wing and hard right wing, like 50-50 amount of material, it'd be a fascinating channel to watch. Both sides. That's only radical and dangerous to a leftist.
The viewership for MSNBC, primetime viewership is down 36% since the election. CNN down 19%. Up 56% for Fox. Now, what does this tell us?
That's Karl Rove, never Trumper Karl Rove. I like him pulling out the whiteboard. But that just goes to show it's not just the LA Times. It's Washington Post. It's going to be MSNBC. It's going to be even Hollywood, the kind of content they produce. They're all waking up going, we're too far to the left. We're losing market share. People think we're lunatics. We look like the totalitarian dictators that we are. And now we lost control. So I guess we better let someone else speak just to let our business stand. People need to be more accepting, not agreeing of both sides, but allowing both sides in the room, especially if you're a product. It's like if you're Oreo, you want everyone to buy it. So even if you're going to be Bud Light and have that Dylan weirdo on there doing their thing, you want a hard right winger to come in with you want Alex Jones to come in and drink your beer also on a competing commercial. What's wrong with that? Anyways, good times ahead for America. We broke the back of the left and they're running. And now people are realizing we have to embrace some things on the right just to keep things sane. I'm Doug in exile.